Good morning and welcome back to my world. Today is the day. I'm so excited. Today we go into Epic Universe for that private preview. This is going to be really good. This obviously is the whole reason why I'm here, why I'm doing this vlog series. It's all about Epic Universe. This is what Dwayne has invited me to come and do. But full disclosure, I can't video or take photos of anything inside the park. Universal are really strict around that for obvious reasons. The park's not open to the public yet. There have been some content creators that have been doing sneaky pictures and getting staff members of Universal in trouble. I'm not going to be one of those people. I'm going to be very respectful towards Dwayne and his career and for inviting me. But we will be talking about everything we do afterwards. We're going to do a nice debrief of everything we experience. There are some opportunities for official photos being taken in the park, which we hope to get hold of, so I can then put into the video so you can see little bits. But today is all about having as much fun as possible, and then I will report back what I think. And yeah, we'll be going to the park officially later on in the year, where I will be able to film bits and show stuff, so it's going to be okay. But stick around. This is going to be a good day. Never done something like this before. This is an incredible opportunity to be able to go into a park before it's even open to the public. So I'm feeling very, very lucky. Let's go. Didn't work. Yep. Another bright and chilly day so far, bit of warm up. It's a random basket there, just as you do. So I've gone for just a shorts and t-shirt again. I have got a jumper in the bag, but yesterday did warm up. And once you get moving, walking around and stuff, it's not so bad. It's not cold. It's just a bit fresh. So it's okay. I'm just sort of pushing the boundaries, I think, of what to wear. I know in the group yesterday there were some people as a family who were wearing hoodies and stuff to begin with, and then got too hot and took it off. And yeah, I'd just rather not have the faff, because knowing me, if I have a hoodie on, I'd just be stubborn and leave it on all day and then melt. So to hell with that. I'm going summer clothing, even though it's only March. Hey ho. So I'm waiting for Dwayne. He is picking me up along with the rest of our little group. It's going to be 4 of us as part of the little group, which is his family and me. So I'm part of his family now. He is my brother. I hope he watches this. I don't know if he will. He might do. Who knows? But yes, it's 8:30 almost. So we're getting there bright and early. It's a whole 8-hour day. I think it goes, is it 9 until 5 or is it 10 till 6? I can't remember what it is. I can't remember what he said, but it's a full 8-hour day in the park. So we're going to maximize the entire time and do as much as possible, which would just be fantastic. It's going to be great. Here he is. Woo! Everyone ready?
Give him sunblock.
Oh yeah, sunblock. It's going to be a day in the sun getting burnt. Yeah.
Here, I'm just going to leave it here. Can you just put it
Thank you.
somewhere?
Sunblock. Let's go. Wow. Wow. I've just got back to the hotel. Dwayne's just dropped me off here. Just spent the past 9-10 hours in the park doing as much as we can. Incredible. Dwayne's going to catch up with me later where we can do a proper debrief and tell you everything. But for now, I just need a bit of time off my feet because I am exhausted. It's been a very long day of walking around and queuing, because one of the downsides of doing a new park is you've got to stand in queues for ages and stuff. There's no VIP tool where you can skip past it all. So we're all quite exhausted, so had a bit of downtime, but that was a phenomenal park. An incredible day, and I can't wait to come back and do the VIP tour there with Dwayne later on in the year when the park is fully open. I'm also hungry. I need some food. Let's get some food. And food has arrived. Just gone for some little nibbly bits, some garlicky knots, whatever the hell they're called, and a big bowl of death cheese and this cheesy pepperoni thing. And Dwayne is here too. Hello.
Hello.
We're at almost time to debrief our day, but we
Absolutely.
thought we need energy. We need to eat. And you've got
We need cheese and carbs.
we need stuff that's not going to do us any good. But that was quick and easy. So let's tuck in. The way you agrees. I've had enough food. So, Epic Universe. An epic day.
I think so.
It's been really
We had a good time.
It has been really good time. Really good time. Obviously, it's a bit different for you, I suppose, because you've had training there. So you've already experienced large amounts of the park.
Yes.
Whereas
yes.
obviously I haven't. And I haven't even looked at online videos. I know vaguely the different areas and the rides.
Well, there aren't a lot of online videos of actually
True.
Epic Universe right now because it's not supposed to be.
Yeah.
There was no video. There was no talking on the phone. Like, you were not allowed. It was so crazy. You were not allowed to seem like you were talking to someone on the phone like this because you might have been. It specifically said no video chatting.
Yeah, no FaceTime
no
or video
FaceTime.
calls. I love the
Yeah.
way they single out FaceTime because FaceTime is just video calls. Right?
Yeah,
That's all it
yeah.
is. But I guess they feel the need to put no FaceTime for all of you Apple fanboys that don't consider it a video call. You consider it a FaceTime.
Yeah.
But whatever. But they were very clear that
Yes.
none of this. And obviously, I said earlier that
You went in pretty blind.
Yeah.
In total blind.
Exactly. It was total blind. And to take it in, really, to experience it. That was the point of it, to experience the park without sort of knowing what there is to see.
And I, as you had mentioned, am very fortunate the last couple of weeks I have actually worked in Epic Universe. And I got to see these things firsthand. I got to see some behind the scenes stuff. But this was the first time I got to experience it as a guest. And we've got some things to talk about.
We do.
I believe we do.
We do.
I do not like being a guest anywhere. How about that? We'll start with that.
Yeah. A whole day on your feet queuing. And there have been some horrific queues as well. But let's start. Let's walk. Let's retrace our steps.
Yes.
As much as my feet are screaming, no, please don't do that. But don't worry, we're going to stay sat down. But let's retrace our steps. So obviously we arrived bright and early this morning, to the point that we were held initially at the screening area because it hadn't quite opened.
Security. Yeah.
Yes, security. Yeah, good shout. Yeah. Screening security, CT scans,
Probe. Go on.
They obviously opened that quite quick actually before the park was even open, but we only got through a little bit. They let the first few people through the scanners.
Yes.
To then be met at the sort of the rope, I guess, for entry into the park. But then they had to stop letting people through the scanners because there was no room left to have more people, to the point that we were split up temporarily.
Yes.
You and Mark were left behind as me and Richie were through. And it's like, well, what was the point in opening the security scanners? Like,
well, I kept wondering, your stuff is still waiting to go through. We shared a bin.
We did, yeah.
So my stuff and your stuff were still in the bin before going through the scanner. And I was like, well, he's going to need his stuff. How much are we going to be split?
Yeah.
Like, are you just going to stop us now and let them go in for a while? What's the deal?
Because I wonder if they've taken that concept from the other parks, because the other Universal parks, you have quite a big gap between where you get your stuff scanned to where the entrance to the park is, especially in LA as well. Because in LA, the security screening is right near the front gate of the park, but there's still a big chunk of path, I guess, to queue up on.
What I don't understand is, and this isn't completely a huge criticism on this, but Disney does this now. Dollywood does this, where you don't have to put your bags in an x-ray machine, like at the airport to go through. You could just walk in with your backpack on. Why, with the newest technology in a brand new theme park, they haven't risen to that type?
Yeah.
I'd be curious to know why.
That is true. Because then when it comes to entering the park, they are now using the facial scanners instead, which is new. That is a new thing of doing. So rather than having to show your ticket, also you still have to the very first time.
Yes.
Right. But if you're a repeat visitor and you keep going back, they'll have a nice picture of you. And it says on the screens as well, it says you don't have to have your photo taken. You can opt out of it if you'd rather not, because it could be seen by Universal staff or by system developers.
Yeah.
Which is quite fun.
Yes.
So, people like me will get like, oh, that's a funny picture. As a sort of testing and, improving the system. But, that's new. To sort of stare at it. It's a horrible picture as well, it takes, because it does this whole weird sort of triangulation trying to find your face, and then the security person goes, stand a bit closer please because you're too far away. And then it takes the picture and it just sort of has this weird square. It's horrific. But hey, it works.
It's not as bad as my driver's license picture, so I'm good.
It's true. We're all used to having bad pictures. But anyway, so we're let in the park.
But we're not really let into the park.
Yeah.
They give you a good amount of time to shop first.
They do. We're let into the put. But not the irk, right? We're halfway there. So we did our first photo, didn't we? As we walked through I guess it's is it the main portal?
Yeah, it's called the Chronos.
The Chronos.
Yes, the Chronos is the main portal that shows all the different worlds in Epic Universe.
Yeah.
That's within the universe. And it is a beautiful sight to see.
Yeah.
I will say it is very stunning to actually see. They have released pictures of this. This isn't talking out of school. It is beautiful. And it shows all the different worlds.
Yeah.
As medallions going down. So you get to walk through there and you get to have your picture taken.
Yeah, and the queue wasn't so bad for that. So we thought, well, let's get that done.
Mm-hmm.
And then behind, where your picture's being taken, you have the new grand, is it Helios? Is that how it's pronounced?
Yes, Helios.
Helios Hotel, which is not finished yet and not open yet, but you can see it. It's built, and it's a massive hotel.
So I find this very interesting that you called it that, because
hotel?
I've been no. You called it the Grand Helios.
Yes.
It's not.
Is it not?
It's Universal Helios Grand, and it doesn't roll off the tongue.
No.
Oh my gosh!
Has it ever been Grand Helios? Has it changed at some point?
I don't think so.
Where's that got into?
It just makes more sense to call it Grand Helios.
Yeah.
Because you put the adjective of what it is.
Yeah.
It's grand in front of
and it is
what it is.
It's exactly what it is.
It's beautiful, but it's Universal Helios Grand Resort. That doesn't make sense.
No,
I get it. I did it too.
I had no idea that either. That's just the
Yeah.
first time I've heard that's what's actually called. That's weird. Okay, fair enough.
And it's a beautiful sight to see.
It is. Yeah.
It's huge.
It is huge. It is. Like I said to you when we first entered the park, that it gives a really weird perception because the hotel is at the back of the park, the Chronos is at the front of the park, but it makes it seem like the park is not that big. Because,
our feet will say something different.
Yeah, but it looks like the hotel is a stone's throw away. So you think, well, there's not much really in the park, but obviously it expands out to the sides with its world. So it is massive, but it just gives you the impression. I thought when you first walked in, like this park is quite small, quite intimate. Not at all, but yeah, part of that as well is because the Helios Grand Resort Hotel Universal Spice, whatever they want to call it, is just huge. It's massive.
Yes.
And they have the whole fountain area as well, which they'll be doing a water show thing at some point in the future.
There are 5 of them.
Oh.
Yes, as you're walking through the park, you'll notice that there are 5 pools of water that go kind of down. They kind of go from one down to the other, and it just cascades down. It's beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yes, we did a bit of shopping, because there were the 2 shops. There was the Epic shop, wasn't it? Was one of them.
Yeah.
What was the first shop? It was the Santa's workshop.
There was a Santa's workshop. I think it's like North Wintry something.
Yeah, because it had a Christmas tree in there, which confused the hell out of me being March.
Well, every theme park I've ever been to has a full-on Christmas shop, does it not? Universal has one. Islands of Adventure has one. Dollywood has one. Like, they just have a Christmas shop.
I haven't never noticed. They always have one all year round.
Yeah.
We're going to have to check that out at Fort Park.
Epic has it. Yeah,
Let's
will.
see if it has got one. Yeah, maybe it does. And they had a little snow machine as well.
Which was neat. I did not know that was going to happen. Yeah. It snowed.
It did. Although it's already ruining the paintwork at the top.
Was it?
Well, part of it is like catching the roof because it pokes out, but like half of it was like catching, and you can see it's left sort of like watermarks and
that's what this was for, though.
Yeah,
it's complete testing is what they're doing, which I think is amazing that they're allowing people to come in and really stress test the park.
Yeah.
And see what it looks like because it's not completed.
No,
we know that,
and you can see that. You can see there's lots of finishing touches that are yet to be done, but they are only that, finishing touches. It doesn't take away the experience you can have in the park or the things you can do. It's just the polishing off of everything and making sure all the paintwork is fully done and things like that. But you can notice it if you have a sort of like an eye for detail like I do. You know, I can pick up on the things thinking, oh, that needs a lick of paint there, or that panel's missing, or there's a wire dangling there.
Yeah, that was one of the first things Matthew had said to me. We were walking in, we were waiting for the people we were with to come out of the store. And he goes, oh yeah, look, there's a wire. Just hanging there.
I can't notice it, but it doesn't It doesn't matter. It's just
no.
what it is.
If you went in thinking this was going to be perfect, it's not. I don't want to say it's not ready, but it's not. It's not at a 100% place to be selling tickets for people to expect to purchase.
Yeah.
That this was a grand gesture that we were able to do.
Yeah.
You know, to test it out. And we did test it out. So where did we go first from there?
Well, we went down to the opposite end of the park, to is it the Dark Universe?
Dark Universe, yes. That was the first place we went to.
Yes.
With so many other people. We ran.
Yeah. Well, quite a lot of people went into Nintendo World. I think the
that's
majority
the
went into
first
there.
one
Yeah.
that you passed. So yeah.
So we went past that. I saw a lot of people going into there, which is probably a no-brainer considering the sort of rides that you get in there. I think it's instantly going to be popular, especially knowing the popularity in the park in LA.
And Japan. Yes.
So no-brainer, I think, for that. But your advice was to go straight to the Monsters area and do the Monsters Unleashed?
Unchained.
Yes. Close. At least you know the name of the rides. It's all just a mangle of words. But, yeah, and that is, I think, a fantastic ride. So for sort of, it's not going to give too much away, but it's very similar to the Harry Potter Forbidden Journey ride in Universal, where you're on some sort of weird machine that moves you about here, then everywhere, and shows you stuff as it's taking you through the storyline. But even the sort of the whole queue area is really, really well done.
It is kind of like a combination between Halloween Horror Nights, like a haunted house, and Tower of Terror over in Disney World, where you walk through the old hotel, but this is a big mansion that you're walking through, and they have a lot of wink and nods to the older Universal monsters, like Phantom of the Opera, Wolfman, the Mummy. Like, there are rooms in there. If you're looking, you will find little Easter eggs for all these different older Universal films.
Yeah.
That's what they did. It was good.
It was good. But it's a really good way of starting it, I think. I found it fantastic to see and hilarious because, see, you don't like horror things.
Nope.
You are quite vocal at horror stuff.
Yeah.
And that makes it even more amusing for me. I think a lot of what I was experiencing was your reaction to stuff and how hilarious I was finding it. Because it was just great. It was making me laugh so much. But it's fantastic. The ride did go tech, though, slightly. It did stop.
I didn't realize how far into the ride it was, though. It was right at the end.
It was right at the end.
It didn't really mess with
it did. You didn't really miss anything because it did kick back into life again and then played out the rest of the whatever it had to do. But it was funny, though, because when it stopped, we were laying on our back, so it wasn't uncomfortable for us, which is good, because I suppose you could have been like leaning forward or something stupid.
Yeah.
So we're laying on our back, which is all right. Although you did say the one thing you don't want to happen is for it to stop.
Yes.
It did.
It stopped.
And I noticed there was I don't know if it was just an animatronic or just a static character in the ceiling. I knew it was there. And eventually you noticed when you looked up, and I was like, I've noticed because there the entire time. I just didn't point it out to you. That was really funny. But yeah, so again, technical preview, this is the whole point. Things are going to break down and cause problems. That's why they're doing these things to put it through its paces and see how can they improve it ready for launch day when it's used in anger. But that was fantastic.
Okay, can I just say something real? It's really weird looking at you this close. This whole time. I'm just saying.
At least I haven't got to flip the footage on your camera so it looks at me.
Yeah.
Which sometimes I forget to do and you've got to point it out to me. But yeah, then we went to the other ride within that area, which I have no idea what the hell that was called. I forgot completely.
Curse of the Werewolf.
Curse of the Werewolf. And that was a lot of fun. That's just...
it's a carnival ride.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I mean, it's not hugely themed, but it's a cute carnival type ride.
Little roller coaster, but one of the ones that spin as well. And it's based on the weight distribution, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
It's dynamic in how it will spin around.
The first couple of times I went on it, I did not spin as much as I did today.
Okay.
Like today, the people I was with in the vehicle. It's basically 2 people in the front, 2 people kind of like back to back.
Yeah.
And it's the weight distribution that
Yeah.
really
And
does
you
make
pivot
the
around.
inertia happen and make you spin. I spun today.
Yeah, I did quite a bit as well, and that was good.
Yeah.
I know Richie, who we were there with as well, he struggled to fit in there a little bit. I think that was the one
He's
where...
tall.
He's very tall.
He's 6'2",
Yeah.
and he's mostly leg.
Yes.
Like,
and you could tell in that ride, because it was right up against the edge. So tall people, you might struggle a little bit on that one. It might be a little bit uncomfortable, but it's not a very long ride. So.
And then I believe we got to meet the Bride of Frankenstein.
Oh, we did, yes.
We did. We got to say hello, and she talks. I was so surprised she talked.
I haven't seen those photos, though, actually. So on the photo pass, they're not part of the collection.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I
Wow.
haven't seen those.
Yay!
So that's
Technical
interesting.
preview.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
That just occurred to me. So yeah, and we will show some of these photos as well, which you
Yeah.
may have already seen some pop up on the screen. So, but yeah, I just remembered me
All
mentioning
right.
that. I forgot we took those pictures, but they're not part of the collection. Maybe that's why we got
Fine.
someone else's photo. Maybe it was in
Maybe.
replacement of that one. Oh dear.
All right.
But, hey, technical preview.
Yeah, can't be mad at it. We got to do something that so many people in the world have not been able to do at all.
Yeah.
They've just been living vicariously through YouTube videos.
Yeah, and that's it. No matter what happened today, you can't be mad.
No.
You can't be upset. You know,
I agree.
you take everything that you experienced for granted because it was a once in a lifetime opportunity. You know, and Universal don't have to do it. You know, at no point do they have to allow their staff to go in their new park. You know, they could be like, nope, we're going to keep this completely under wraps. To hell with all of you. You know, they could be that nasty, but they're not. And to allow, you know, people to bring friends and family as well, they could just have it for staff only.
Very true.
You know, so it's, you know, you make the most of it, regardless of what happens.
I don't know if this is the correct order because now today was such a blur with everything that had happened for us. I mean, we did do the carousel.
Yeah, we had the picture taken in front of the monster area portal first. We did that before moving on.
Okay.
Just because the queue didn't seem all that bad then, so we got another picture taken, which is good. Which, ta-da! Here it is. Yeah, that's if I remember to put because I might not remember I said this by the time I edit the video and it just appears before or after. You know, or I might just do that on purpose because you know what I'm like when it comes to editing. I just like to piss about. But yeah, we then went on the carousel because we were going to go towards the Stardust races.
Yes, but it was a long wait.
It was 1 hour.
Yes.
At that point in time, and it was 10 minutes for the carousel.
Yes.
So we went to the carousel because it was closer.
Mm-hmm.
The carousel ended up being 1 hour.
Just over 1 hour, yeah.
Which is nuts. And it's a very short ride. The thing that was the issue, and I don't know why, but they were taking ages to get people off the ride, and then ages to get them on and checked.
Ready to go, yes.
Yeah. And the ride lasts, 30 seconds, maybe a minute?
Minute and a half. Yeah. It's nice. It's a nice change.
Yes.
For a carousel.
Yeah.
You're not just going in a circle.
It is different. And it does it to different songs. And it's random which song plays. And then the movements, I guess, is also different based on...
Yes, the song. Yes.
So it
even goes
good.
backwards, spoiler alert. A little bit, it does go a little backwards.
And there's also
depending on
two
the
different
song.
types. If you notice on the floor, you have the main bit, which is the entire thing that goes around.
The desk,
and then goes backwards and stuff. And also the things are going up and down as well. But then you have, I think, 3 smaller circles that then move around themselves.
Yes.
So if you're clever with which one you pick, you can get more rotating motion. Yeah. So I unfortunately picked the wrong one.
But it's amazing that you noticed that because that was something I knew. But to see a person who's never been there before be able to pick that up, like, wow, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
You are smart.
Yeah, it's the attention to detail. I know stuff. That's all it is. I can see things. But yeah, so that was long. That was. And
longer than it needed to be.
Yeah.
I will say. Definitely longer than it needed to be.
It was, yeah. And again, it's just when you're on your feet all day and stuff, it just starts to ache so much.
But the star of the show for me today was Stardust Racers.
Because that's what we went to next.
Yes.
And the irony is that was, 7? No, it's
that was
14.
close to that, like, that one posted at
It's very
a 35-minute
at that
wait.
point. Yeah.
Yes. So we went in. You have to get wanded down. You have to do the whole thing.
All metal detectors and putting stuff in a.
We rode the ride.
And
then front row. We waited for the front row.
Yeah.
We got on the ride. We came off. I looked at my watch and I was like, "Oh, it's been 14 minutes."
Yeah, I suppose we were a little bit faster than we should have been because the people in front of us on the front row said we didn't go ahead of them. Yeah. But at the same time, if we didn't ask to go front row, we would have been straight on because there was no queue.
Yeah.
At all. There was no waiting. It was straight up to the cars. Obviously, there's two of them because they race. So those of you who know the Dueling Dragons back in Islands of Adventure before Harry Potter came and flicked his wand and it disappeared. It's bringing back that sort of style coaster. But it also uses the Velocicoaster sort of car, I think. I think it is the same technology as Velocicoaster is.
Oh, you think so?
I believe so. I could be wrong, but I thought it was the same tech. It may even be the same company that designed it. Which would make sense if it's the same tech.
Yeah, because it did have the over-the-head.
I think it is. I think it is
the
same type of coaster. It's just not as... I don't want to say... I was going to say not as intense, but I mean, parts of it do like to lift you out your seat again and throw you about. And there is an intense side and a not as intense side. We did the intense side.
Correct.
So I have no idea what the not so intense side is like. I'm going to have to do that again.
I've only done the intense side. I've ridden it like 3 or 4 times before. And yeah.
Well, in September, when we go into the park for real, we might need to maybe do it twice.
Yeah.
And do both sides.
Yeah. We'll race each other.
Yeah. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? But it was a fantastic ride, though. It was really, really good. I did enjoy that.
There was a portion of the ride as you are passing over each other. I looked to my right, and there was this gentleman looking straight into my eyes. And when we realized we were actually making eye contact, we had enough time where he was like waving. And then I got to wave back before we split up. Like, it was incredible how they do that. Yeah. We were
like
literally
slow
motion 3 or 4 seconds of literally going together at the same time. It was great.
Yeah.
I've never experienced anything like that before. Going so fast and then get at points feeling like you were just going so slow as you're going up and over. So it was great. And it's the fastest ride in the park, I'm told.
That makes sense. Based on everything else in there, yeah.
But it's the slowest outdoor roller coaster Universal has.
Is it? Interesting. That is interesting.
Someone might say it's just over 62 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe.
There you go. So after that, we then had some lunch.
Yes.
And what was the name of the restaurant?
Astropub Meteor? Or Astro Meteor Pub?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was pretty good. So there was a selection of burgers, wasn't it? I ended up having well, basically a cheese toasty, wasn't it? It was a formaggio grilled cheese. Yeah,
grilled cheese.
Yeah. And that was nice. And I don't know what the heck it was in this bowl. It was like soupy type stuff. I don't know what it was.
Tomato soup?
I have no idea.
It was red.
It was red.
It was tomato based, yes.
There was tomatoes in it, or tomatoes. But yeah.
You're becoming one of us.
I know. It was nice, but yeah, I was dipping the.
Yeah, I mean, here in America, grilled cheese goes with tomato soup.
Oh, it makes sense.
So
I think bread in general does, doesn't it? As well, I think it's quite common that you just dip bread in general into soup. It's a good way of soaking up soup.
I guess, yeah.
Especially if you
stews, sure.
Yeah, but stews are a bit lumpy, but. If you're eating your soup, quite often you'll have then the residue left in your bowl, right? And that's where the bread comes in because you can wipe up all that and it soaks into the bread. Right,
and you do that with Italian pasta dishes.
Yeah.
So, okay.
There you go. But that was nice. Then we had the desserts. We had one was a chocolate
tart,
which is just a cake.
It was a cake.
Yeah.
With like almost like a tart shell around it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a little bit of hardness that you had to sort of cut through.
Whack it open.
Yeah. And then the other thing was the strawberries and creamy pastry type.
Yeah, it was their take on biscuits, like strawberry shortcake.
Yeah. With
like a biscuit thing, but it was more like the puff pastry balls.
Yeah.
Before they put the cream inside the pastry
puff.
Like
the profiteroles.
Is that what it is? That's what you call them?
I think so. Profiteroles is what you do have cream inside profiteroles.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this did not have cream in it.
No, it was just the
ball.
kinky bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is alright. And they have a nice selection of drink as well. They have the freestyle Coca-Cola machines everywhere in the park, actually, all over the place.
Yeah.
And
over hundreds of different types of drinks.
Yeah, and I don't think the other Universal parks have that. I've never noticed it. I don't know if they do.
They do. Yeah.
Okay, I can't say I've ever noticed. But
yeah.
There we go. Okay, but I saw them everywhere at this park at least.
Yeah.
All over the place, and that was good because I was moaned out for just wanting some water because I drink water, and I was like, okay, get me a cup. I see there's a freestyle machine. I know what I'm going to go for, and then I went for a Powerade.
Yes,
which is what I lived off of when I was on a cruise ship with Royal Caribbean because you get little soda bottles and Powerade every single day. Powerade for breakfast. What a sugary cruise that was. Then we were planning to go to the show, so we had a little bit of time to kill before it was showtime because there are 3 showings in the Harry Potter world. Yes. We already passed the one at 1 p.m. So it's the 3 p.m. one that we're targeting, and we also having the 4:30 as a backup just in case the 3 p.m. didn't work. So we went to the How to Train Your Dragon world. What the hell's the island called again?
Isle of Burke.
Yes, because you wanted we all wanted to see the toothless animatronic thing, which we did do, and then we were wandering around. There's 2 rides there. There's one where you just get lifted up and you fly around. This is how I describe things. You do this, and you can also spin that with at the same time, can't you? You can spin upside down if you time it right.
Sure. What? Are you raving? What's happening here?
I'm doing boxes. Okay. Watch out.
Yeah.
But we didn't do that. So that was a 20-minute wait when we walked past. But the other ride, the roller coaster, was 15 minutes.
Yes.
So we went to that one instead. And that wasn't even 15 minutes.
No.
That was 5? 5 minutes, I think, to go on that. And that was
very short to get on.
Get on it, yeah. And that was really, really good.
It's the new Hagrid's. For Epic Universe. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I think it was a great ride. Yeah. It was smooth. You got to go around, you literally were leaning into the
You were, and it's got a great story behind it as well. Yeah, like you mentioned to me, it's a bit of an issue with doing the pre-story. There's not much there to sort of get you to know what the hell's going on. Thankfully, I have a tour guide that can explain this is the background. Yeah. So when you're then on the ride and you're seeing things unfold, you're like, this is really cool. But that was really good. That one took me by surprise, that ride.
Because it looks like a kiddie coaster.
Yeah, but it's not.
And would you do a kiddie coaster? No. But it was a short wait. Let's go jump on it. And we had a really good time on that one.
Yeah, we did.
So, yeah.
Then the other ride then became 50-minute wait, which is the time. So
as soon as we walked up, absolutely, it just changed.
it just changed.
Yeah.
So we didn't do that. And then they have a water ride there as well, which we didn't do because we didn't want to get wet.
Yeah.
But they have got a water ride in that area. But that's when we saw Toothless. We didn't queue to get pictures because that queue was huge.
That was a long queue.
Yeah. But we just looked at him from afar. And
he was cute.
He is cute.
He is definitely cute.
Really, really well done.
Yeah.
It's really well done. That's going to be a popular thing in that park, I reckon, when it opens. But then we went off to the Harry Potter area. So they have the show there, and they then have a new ride in the Ministry of Magic.
Yes.
But that ride's not currently open yet. No one's been able to do that one yet. Although it's rumoured that it is going to be open...
By the time this comes out?
Yeah, because it's going to be a media day thing. It'll be open for that. So, yeah. So shame that we couldn't...
But we got to walk through part of the queue, and it is massive, and it is beautiful.
Oh, it's incredible.
You had said as we were walking, you don't need a set to film. They should just film right in here. It is so realistic.
If they've ever got to do any sort of scenes, like in the upcoming Harry Potter series, in a Ministry of Magic, they haven't got to build the set. Just ask Universal to close that ride for the day and film in there. It's done. And it's so tall. It's massive.
Yes.
I was blown away, because we walked through these weird sort of portal things and you had to say the magic words, which I said Ministry of Memes. And then it just went green and the smoke came up and we walked through.
And that was the first time I was able to do that.
Yeah.
Because that was the first time that effect was actually working and doing its thing. So it was really great to be able to experience that today.
And to walk through that, that whole area, obviously we weren't able to do the ride, but to see that was phenomenal. So if that has got that much attention, then I wonder how good the ride is.
And if that building, as you had mentioned, you look up, it is so massively large. Just being in the queue, that the ride itself is behind those walls. So that means it's a huge ass ride.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be amazing.
It's going to be massive.
Yeah.
But then we went to the show itself.
Right.
And that's a two-part thing. The first bit, you're on your feet for 7 minutes. We do a little pre-show, which is really well done. That was clever.
Yeah.
Because if anyone's ever watched the Broadway or the West End Harry Potter show, the Cursed Child.
Yes,
Cursed
the Cursed Child.
Whatever it's called. Those of you that have seen that, they do a really, really good sort of effects thing which make it seem very magical, to the point that it's hard to tell if it's actually like stage effects and not just pure magic. And there are elements of that in this show, so that was really, really cool to see some of those. Like you mentioned to me, there's Broadway elements to this show, and you can see what's going on. You then go through to the main theatre area for the show itself. Unfortunately, that went tech for us.
Yes.
We didn't get to the main part of the show. It sort of went tech twice, didn't it? They resumed after the first one. Yep. Then it shortly went tech.
And as someone who had seen the movie, this actual show in entirety, it's an amazing show, and I highly recommend you all see it. But I kind of had a sneaking feeling when it went tech the second time, it was a huge transitional piece of the show itself, that there was no recovering from that one. And I was just hoping there was a way that they can recover from that, because I was bringing friends that I really wanted to see this full piece, because the magic really unfolds during the second half of the second part of the show, and it just didn't happen for us today, but you'll see it soon enough.
Yeah, I'll give it another go, definitely, when I'm back. Because even the 4:30 showing got cancelled.
Yes,
So whatever went wrong, they didn't repair it in time for the other show. So that was a shame. But hey ho, from what I did see, it was good.
Yeah.
I was interested in seeing what happens next. So I do like the theatre as well. So, and then, after that, all we had left was Nintendo World. Yeah. So we left that to the very end. Whether that was a good idea or not, I'm not sure, because it was very busy in there.
But I assume it's going to always be busy, because you have the little kids that really want to do it, because this is a little kid's dream come true. Yeah. I mean, it is so busy and so much to look at and so interactive and so bright and colorful and loud. And then you have the people my age who grew up on Nintendo World and the original 8-bit Mario. Yeah. That we love to be in that area. You got the little kids who love, all ages are going to love this area. So I think from opening to close, it's going to be the new, Hagrid's ride. The whole idea of Hogsmeade always being so busy, no matter what time of year it is. I think Super Nintendo World is going to be that.
It will be. I mean, I remember in LA, that area was very, very busy. Yeah. You used to have to book separately to be able to enter that land, which is just nuts. To think that you got a ticket for the park, you're in the park, and then you got to book separately to get into that area. It's only been relatively recently that you no longer have to do that. It's still a busy area, but you no longer have to book. But you can still see some of the signage there for that. So that's funny. But so we went in. Obviously, we had then fast passes or express pass because the show broke down. So we were given the express pass
to make up for the time that we had lost. Irony.
Yes.
The irony.
The irony of that. But you couldn't use it on the Diddy Kong ride. That's what it is.
Sure, the Diddy Kong ride, right?
One,
It all goes back to Diddy.
So we couldn't use it on that, which is annoying. But we could use it on the Mario Kart ride. So we thought we'd go in there and try that out, and got to the front of the queue, and that ride went tech.
Yes.
And I don't think it ever actually came back up again.
I don't think so either. It was towards the end of the day.
Because we went in there like, an hour and a half before the park closure.
Yes.
We were in that queue for a bit, hoping that it would come up. Because originally they sort of said, it's just a temporary thing, blah, blah, blah. Don't panic. And then eventually came up and said,
panic.
It's extended delay. After like half an hour saying, no, it's only temporary.
Yeah.
So we gave up on that in the end. We got given new express passes because we then wasted those ones as well.
Right.
Although in my view, we probably should have had 8 at that point to make up for the ones wasted and then have new ones for more time wasted. But whatever. Again, at that point, there's only an hour left.
And the only ride we wanted to ride that we didn't ride yet wasn't allowed to be used for them.
Yes. So we went to then the Donkey Kong's Minecart, is that what it is?
Minecart, yeah.
Minecart Madness?
Yes,
that's the
yes.
one.
Okay.
I could be a tour guide. And we went down the single rider queue for that, thinking that might be a bit faster, because that was still about an hour, wasn't it?
It was like 65 minutes, I believe it was posted at.
Yeah.
And it took, how long?
About 65 minutes. Even in the single line.
Yeah.
And it did break down after we came off as well.
Did it?
Yeah, so me and Richie were stood out at the exit, and we noticed there was a bit stuck on the thing. And we thought, well, where's Mark? Is that before Mark had gone, or is it after? And then Mark appeared. Okay. So it's fine. We all got on and off before it fully broke down. But so that ride, that's good. It's a very, very clever ride how they've done it. It's very bumpy by design because you go around all sort of the broken track and stuff, But so at least we got that done, because for me at least, I've done the Mario Kart ride twice in LA, so I know what that's like.
Right.
So if I had to pick, then it would have been the Minecart Madness, because I've never done that before.
And luckily for you, you did do Minecart Madness, and you liked it.
Yeah. It is good, yes. I think it needs to be longer. I found it to be a very short ride, especially after an hour wait.
Yeah.
It is one of the shortest rides.
Very generic thinking for a lot of theme park rides, even in Disney World.
Yeah.
Like, I waited 2 hours for a 2-minute ride.
Yeah, but at least 2 minutes is not terrible. I feel... I don't know what the official time is of the Minecart Madness.
Okay.
But I feel it is very, very short. It was over quick.
Okay.
There were... Yeah, you sort of go out and then you did a little bit of bouncing around. Then I think it had like 2 launches or 2 lifts.
Okay.
And then it was over.
There are also 2 different... I think it was 2 different indoor parts of the track as well.
Yeah.
And like 3 outdoor parts of the track. Yeah. I mean, there's so much going on, and you are kind of going kind of fast on it. It's not ridiculously fast, but it is so fast paced with you see this and then you see that, and then there's this is happening over here, that you blink and it's over.
Yeah.
So I can see where you can say that, but I mean, you might be shocked to know that that's like a almost 3-minute ride.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe 2 minutes and 37 seconds.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Well, the perception of that was it was very short.
Yeah.
It felt like it was about a minute long.
Yeah.
And it needs to be like 2 to 3 times longer.
I get that.
So interesting that it's 2.5 minutes.
Sure.
There you go.
Okay. And we had a good time, and we got home, and I think Epic Universe is going to be the game changer that everybody is saying.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this as a biased person. I hated waiting in lines. By design, I am not that person. Neither is Matthew.
I can't do it anymore.
But sometimes you just gotta take one for the team, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna experience it like an everyday person, and it's fine. But yeah, my feet hurt after what I do every day.
Yeah.
Like standing in line is so much harder than actually walking.
That's it. Walking around all day, always on the move, is not so bad. Yeah. Standing still and tiptoeing forwards, that's the killer. Yeah. That's what I hate.
I feel it in my feet tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long time. But the park is fantastic.
Yeah.
It really is fantastic.
And we did not see the biggest thing that this park is going to be known for. The transition from day to night.
Yeah.
Because, there is so much to see. with the Battle at the Ministry ride in the Wizarding World. It's going to be amazing to see. You'll be able to get to see the show the way it's supposed to be seen one day.
Hopefully.
There's a whole How to Train Your Dragon show that is over in Beijing, maybe? There is a very similar show overseas somewhere that we have decided to bring here that I have not seen it yet, unfortunately. But it's supposed to be jaw-dropping.
Okay.
So, I
There's
mean,
more
there's
to
so
come.
much more. Oh, absolutely.
And there are other worlds as well rumored to be added on to the park.
There
as well.
are areas that, they're always talking about expansion.
Yeah.
Already. This park
That's the
isn't
thing.
open
Not
yet.
open yet, yeah.
And they're talking expansion. They're talking,
Yeah.
making more room for cars.
Yeah.
To, like, parking. Because they expect there's going to be so much more people coming.
Yeah. Well,
in
that's
the
the thing
future.
is you'd be silly, I think, not to plan the park with the expansion in mind from day one.
Yeah.
Because it'll always be a lot harder than trying to think, well, where the hell do we put the new stuff?
Yeah. And because you can't... The way they've set this up, you can't retheme a whole world. Like, if you were to think of The Simpsons right now, The Simpsons, the contract, it's out in public. Disney owns Fox now. Rides change all the time. So what they do with Back to the Future when they decided Simpsons was going to be more profitable, they just did an overlay of that area. You can't do that with the whole world with a portal that gets you into the world.
Yeah.
How are you going to change that?
Yeah.
You just shut down a whole world?
Yeah, you'd have
and
to
redo it?
wouldn't you?
Yeah,
You'd have
no. So
choice, but it's not
this is
feasible.
this is concreted down, and I think it's going to be amazing to see how they're going to keep it fresh and new.
That's a very good point,
as well.
especially with Universal, which is heavily stage driven.
Yeah,
And they have the facade in front of the stage, and it's just a massive warehouse, basically,
yeah.
with the ride inside.
Mm-hmm.
You see that everywhere around
Yeah.
Universal Studios. But you're right, at Epic, it's not built that way.
Nope.
It's built specifically for the world in which the ride is supposed to sit in.
Yes.
Yeah, that theming is deep rooted into the park's foundations.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to see how that ages.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
All right.
So, what's your favorite ride?
Absolutely, hands down, Stardust Racers.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way that roller coaster gets you in the mood to really, what they say in the queue is so true. We have lassoed the comets and brought them down so you can race them. Just really, growing up seeing on TV pictures of comets just slowly going across the sky.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this ride feels like.
Yeah.
All while going so fast.
Yeah.
So that was my favorite ride. Yours?
It would be the same. I
Yeah.
think, yeah.
And
that
we sat
was-
together in the front row
We
for
did.
that. That is amazing.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah.
What about the ride that surprised you the most?
Monsters Unchained, I've ridden it before, but this was the first time I had my eyes open the whole time, so I actually saw what was going on. And I wouldn't have done it ever again if you were here.
Yeah.
So that surprised me that I did enjoy it. I mean, we can, go room by room and like, you have to experience this. You completely do. You?
Yeah. I think it will be the ride in How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think that
Okay.
surprised me the most.
Hiccup's Wing Glider.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
not even trying to attempt to to remember the name for that one. But yeah, because I was expecting maybe something like the Flight of the Hippogriff.
Okay.
That one. A
Yeah.
short, simple coaster.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
good fun, but it's over quite quickly.
Yeah.
It's nothing insane.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was really good. The story was great. The coaster was great. The things that it did during the
Mhm.
ride. Yeah, I was like, actually, that was really good fun.
Yeah, I am sure by the time our video comes out, Media Day will have happened.
Yeah.
Influencers would have point of views of all
Everything.
these rides. So take our word for it. Check it out. Like,
Yeah.
check your favorite Florida influencers page out, and you'll enjoy it. And come on down and check it out. Matthew did.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I came over here for 4 days just to have a go at Epic Universe. So
not even to see me. Like, yeah, the ticket. Where's my ticket? Yeah.
bye, Dwayne. I will see you tomorrow.
Goodbye, Matthew. Maybe you'll see me tomorrow.
Whew, and we have come to the end of another day here in Orlando. And the day has definitely been the highlight of the trip, as it was probably always going to be, spending it around Epic Universe. Bit of a longer vlog as well, giving our debrief. We wanted to give a detailed debrief because it's a long day. It's 9-10 hours worth of a day. But our time here in Orlando has not come to an end, so the vlog series also hasn't come to an end. There is a day tomorrow to do random things around Orlando with Dwayne. It's his day off, so gonna make the most of it. I've had quite a bit of food, which is why I'm struggling to speak without having a heart attack. Tomorrow we are going to be doing Olive Garden as well. We mentioned that yesterday, or in the previous vlog, that we're going to be doing Olive Garden, but we were too full to do it. But tomorrow will be the day that we go to Olive Garden. So make sure you check out the next vlog. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next epic vlog for Epic Universe in Orlando. I'm just talking rubbish now, but bye!